want to thank our leader, who I have been very, very privileged to serve with, and who I've admired for many, many years for her tremendous leadership.
I want to congratulate the leader for her re-election.
Congressman James Clyburn and Steny Hoyer were speaking moments ago, congratulating Nancy Pelosi on her unanimous election to remain Democratic leader. Meanwhile, yesterday, the House Republican Conference named 19 of their 21 committee chairs. And of the new leadership positions, how many are held by women? 0. And how many are held by white men? All of them. It appears the House GOP takes the term chairman quite literally. Democrats have not voted on their new chairs, but Politico reports they are likely to have women holding the ranking position in 5 committees. Yesterday, Republican Congresswoman from Tennessee, Marsha Blackburn, speaking to NBC, expressed disappointment with her party.
I wish we weren't having to address that issue. I would like to have thought that we could have had women chairmen. The fact that this is kind of the way it is turned out as a vote, I think what we have to do is just continue to highlight the well-qualified women that are in our conference.
The Republican all-male leadership comes as a record number of women were elected to Congress. 101 women will be part of the 113th Congress, 20 in the Senate, and 81 in the House. But surprising exactly no one, the number of Democratic women far outpaces the number of Republican women. In the House, Democratic women outnumber Republican women 61 to 20. In the new Senate, the number of female Democrats increased from 12 to 16, while the number of Republican women fell from 5 to 4. But hey, after an election where Republicans brought America transvaginal probes, legitimate rape, and binders filled with women, and after acknowledging that the party has serious female troubles, why bother putting any women in positions of leadership? Karen?
That's spooky.
Maybe they refused them.
Okay, but can I just say, as you're reading that, these 3 men, like, squirming, that was kind of fun to watch.
Physically squirming in their seats.
Let's see, there was no war on women. That was all in our minds, because we're just kooky like that. But, gee, that picture certainly suggests that there might actually be...
We're cool with that, though, right?
Come on, but like...
I didn't see what
how can you do... can the Republican Party not help itself? I mean, after the hearing, where it's all white men sitting there, you would think at least optically they would get the message.
And knowing that one of the groups that they had the biggest trouble with was women voters, right? You would have thought somebody would have looked at that picture and said, you know, there's something wrong here. There's something missing. Maybe can we create something for a woman? Can we?
Well, to give them a shred of credit, they did elect Representative Kathy McMorris Rogers from Washington to be the chairwoman of the House Republican Conference. So there's
But then why didn't they say let's announce those things together? Their leadership positions in addition with their committee just to kind of, you know,
at least
that's just
mitigate.
Good spin. I'm just saying as a communication person.
Know, you know, here's what's interesting. They do know how to respond to political pressure. Last time, when the Tea Party came in, they created 2 special leadership seats for these freshmen because they said this is something that we need to acknowledge as a major part of our base. So they do know how to create positions for people so that they can have access to power.
They are aware of how politics works. Yes. They just don't always play the game. Glenn, I guess we have talked, there is a lot of talk and pontificating and armchair psychology about what the GOP is going to do. Is it going to emerge from the ashes of the election stronger? Are they going to take the party in a different direction? When you see stuff like this, and we hear talk about immigration, we hear talk about outreach to, you know, the people of color, it really makes you wonder if they're capable of any kind of substantive change, given the fact that it did not occur to them that maybe there should be a woman in a leadership position there. I will say there are two seats left, so maybe they'll get the memo for the
ethics, right, which is a real door prize there, right?
Special committee on outreach to women?
Yeah.
Yes, maybe.
Or the Easter egg hunt. I mean, look, it's just clear that this is a huge issue, and it's a huge problem inside the Republican conference and the party at large. You had a congressman yesterday, when asked about this, a male white congressman, a committee chairman, say that this was inside D.C. baseball. It's exactly the opposite.
It's actually the country.
Well, yeah, it's just a huge issue for them.
Coupled with the fact that many of these Republican legislatures, Arkansas, Ohio, Michigan, all went back to all kinds of anti-choice legislation, personhood bills, let's give fetuses, you know, tax status. So it seems that nobody in the Republican Party got the message, because here's what's happening in Washington. Washington and back in the states, they're right back to defunding Planned Parenthood.
And I will say, on the state, in terms of statehood legislation, there is horrible stuff going on. But if there is a silver lining for the Republican Party, I think it is in the state capitals where there are female governors. And there are 4 of the 5 female governors. First of all, there should be more than 5 female governors in this country, but at any rate, 4 of them are Republican: Jan Brewer, Susanna Martinez, Mary Fallin, and Nikki Haley. There's only 1 Democratic female governor. So good news maybe for 2016 in the Republican Party in terms of the bench, but actually in terms of the party policy and legislation, I don't know. It's grim out there. Chairmen. No offense, guys.
Love men.